Welcome to the Artefacto YouTube channel. Today, we're thrilled to present a masterclass by one of the world's most gifted watercolor artists. Please welcome Irina Kukrusova.
I should say that lion, they are yellow in color, and I use its natural sienna, its brand core, and I will put it in the middle. It's like the first brush stroke, just to understand the tone. And after that, I just make the connection quite soft. I use that sienna, natural sienna, as yellow. It's very warm yellow. And after that, I should I also use Van Dyke core. It's the similar with burnt sienna. It's very good color, very bright, and I put it here just to make some brown and orange place and some blue. It's cobalt blue, but you can use ultramarine just to make it not so bright in color, and some blue. It's Vertiter blue Shinhan, but also very good color. It's royal blue Sennelier, just to make quite bright but not dark color here. And too much water sometimes it's happened. Yes, and near with eye, a little bit more brown. I always start my work from eye or to eyes. I want to see my every animal quite alive. And for example, if you understand that you will have not so much time for painting, you just make that lines very soft. And I will use blue for that dark part, a little bit more blue. Practically, I create just shadow and the light, and try to understand what part is more light in color and what part is darker, and try to make to create soft edges. And also that part is very bright, and I will take that natural sienna and to make that soft edges. It will be bright, and after that I just clean my brush and tone down that line, and we will have more orange near his scalp. Here he has a scalp, and that is why that line is quite not white, but light in color. And here his eyebrow, and we need some blue. Also, I love to use that cobalt blue. It create color more cold, here, and I will make connection from that part to that. And here we have practically very light blue. I will take that color and put very bright blue, and after that I create soft edges here, some details. And of course we must put blue. It's peacock blue. I love that color so much. You can use ceruleum. It has the same color, but that light not so bright, and I make the connection of the colors. And after that I take my brown, it's Van Dyck, and create eyes.
I hope you're enjoying this watercolor lesson. On our channel, we always share watercolor lessons from the world's top artists. And today, we have something special for you. Follow the link in the video description and sign up for a free online masterclass with another global watercolor star.
Yeah, it will be quite light. And after that, I must to tone down that line. I put quite dark, and after that I tone down that line. It helped me to create line quite soft. And some here, and some small details, the connection of colors. Yeah, and burnt sienna. I will say you that it's burnt sienna because Van Dyck, you can use just that brand, because other brand Van Dyck is just brown color. I think that it's not time to put so dark color here, but why not? And I just use clean brush to put some water here, just to make soft edges. Maybe somewhere some bright dots. It's my favorite color. It's vermilion by Rembrandt, but if you will think to buy that color, please buy Rembrandt, because I bought a lot of them. I don't know how much, but too many vermilion, because when we speak about theory of watercolor, this color is red, and that is why when you mix vermilion with blue, you will have violet, but only that color of that brand will give you perfect, so perfect gray and brown. And I tone down some details here, and maybe here some details or volume of that. And of course here I just put some water, and after that clean it by brush, and I will have so very gentle brush stroke and make the connection. Yes, and put some color here. And after that, we must put more color on his nose. Every time when you create animal portrait, you must remember that that part of nose, it's a little bit blue in color, because we see some skin and it's dark in color, skin of animals, because they have good pigment. And some lights here, maybe some connection, and more orange, very bright orange to that part, like that, and some of them like that. And after that, I make the connection with other parts, and I think it's soft already. I just need more water on the surface. And for example, when you have not very good edges, I always use that form of my brush. And it helped me to make every portrait soft. And I create some gray color just to put more details to that part. It's brown with a little bit blue and maybe some form here, some details, very, very gentle, and more orange and more tone. The main thing is tone, because when your watercolor will become soft, you will find out that all and everything become not so dark, and you know that it's watercolor always do with us. Just when you put a lot of beautiful brush stroke, but when it's become dry, all and everything escape. Yeah, I think it's quite okay, and maybe some lines here with some blue I should put to his head, just to create his eyebrow. Yeah, I try to create soft edges in every time of my painting. Maybe some of them here, and here. Again, and near with nose, more correct lines, and near with his eye, it's the darkest part of his head practically. Also, these dots from which his whiskers grow up, you should create by 2 times. Never create it putting very black dots, because it's so awful. And this part of nose always have blue colors, and that is why I just take a little bit dirty cobalt blue. It has some orange in that mixture. If you will put some blues on the surroundings of that nose, it means that your animal will be very alive. And the middle of the nose, I use its permanent rose Shunhan, and a little bit oxide black. Also, you can use caput mortuum. It's very interesting color I will have. Yeah, and the highest part of nose I will put using by black color. Yeah, like that. It's not black, it's oxide black. I use it like sepia. It's very gentle with some granulation. It's oxide black by Van Gogh. Yeah, like that. And I think it looks like a lion. And also we can create that part of his face, and I will use that perfect yellow. It's natural yellow. It's natural sienna. Very, very, very good yellow, very warm and very bright. Connection we should create, and some oranges, for example, vermilion or Van Dyke, to put that connection with left part. You should use the same color, and very funny joke that the most difficult thing in painting to create two similar eyes, and if you don't know how to do it, you just must paint picture with somebody with one eye. And if you don't know how to paint hand, please put it to them somewhere. Yeah, and you must use the same color for the both part. For example, if you know that here you use, for example, some orange, and you must use the same color to another part of the face. I have too much water here, and that is why I use that brush. Yeah, and some color here, and I make the connection. And that dots of whiskers, I use first some brown color, and after that a little bit black or very dark color. It's too much water on that part. Yeah, and we must decide which part of his face dark. For example, that part is darker than that part, and that is why I just take my brush, make it clean, and tone down that line, and after that I use a little bit blue and put it here just to make the difference from that part and that. And after that we must create his fur on his cheek, and I use it's burnt sienna with some blue. It should be quite dark and with a lot of color, and some red near with his eye. And here he has the same thing like on that part here. I will show you. Like in that part, and I also use some blue And after that, I will take my burnt sienna with some blue and a little bit, it's cobalt Turkish blue. Also, it's Rembrandt. I love that color very much, and I can advise you, that color is absolutely perfect in mixing. And I clean that line, and after that we can put some colors on his eye. It's also peacock blue. It's very bright, so perfect. First we put light, make the connection, and after that we put the main colors, and they will have some connection with each other, and we just need to look how they create, how soft we have already created. Yeah, I have too much water on the surface, and I want to cover that part of his face, and I will use burnt sienna with cobalt blue and a little bit cobalt Turkish blue, and with a small quantity of oxide black, because it has some granulation. I have a lot of water on his head, and some granulation will help me to create the fur. But when you paint any animal, your granulation must be very, very soft, because if you will try to create fur just using by granulation colors, it will be not so natural. And some orange on that part of the eye, and eyebrow also must be white brown in color, and vermilion for the middle part of his face. It's just the color, just to make some lights. For example, here it's a little bit cold, and here more orange colors, and it will be it will give us possibility to create the softness of his fur. And for example, somewhere you can put some dark dots, but please look on the edges and try not to make it's very sharp, because it's just a bad watercolor. This part is very, very bad, and that is why I'm afraid to put any color, because I will have some problems. And what should we do with his eyes? And also I must to say that in his eyes I stop putting any color, just because it's too wet. I can try to, oh, it's okay now. It's quite okay. Yeah, it's good now. Just because it's very it's too much water, and I will do it like that. And with that mixture of color, I will do it here just to cover all white part, and maybe to make the edges soft. And here to tone down the light, and here to create the light on his ears. It's very small for realistic portrait.
Yeah, this is more a touch. We get to touch upon this beautiful painting, and then we can learn more in your course if you want to see your regular process.
I need to put more tone on that part because that part is brighter than left side. And I just continue my work because I have very soft edges on his face, and I use that mixture just to put here, and maybe more blue here. You can use, for example, peacock blue. It's quite strange for lime, but I see some blue color here, and it will be very, very good. And also I put some oranges near with that blue, and it will be very vibrant, so soft and interesting, and some oranges here. And we can finish his ear. I use more orange because here we see the skin, and of course I paint for very long time. Quite realistic detail artwork takes me for 5, 6, or even 10 hours. But it can be quite easy, like that line, and more common. And now we see that that blue is quite okay. I use oxide black and some blues just to put some tone here. And I use brush with water just to make that connection. And of course, some tone here under his eyes with a little bit blue, just to on his eyebrow, and maybe his dots. But please do not make it too dark. It must be very, very soft, very small, like a fur. Yeah, and maybe a little bit oxide black. I should say that it's not really black. It's like sepia, very warm color with a gentle connection with every watercolor I use. And I repeat that small dots on his head, his eye, and here's some small dot here. It should be very soft, very, very gentle brush stroke. It should be clean because he's small and every dot must be not so viewable, because as you know, the adult lion, they also have that dots on their hair, and some blue to that part, because in tone that part they are similar, but they are different in temperature. That is why here I put some orange and here some blue and a little bit dark color. And you must make it the same as on the left. Eye. And some small detail, for example, here, and some dot. And maybe a little brown with small brush stroke, like it's hair. Yeah, and I must take some oxide black, and it's indent blue and burnt sienna, and for me it's Van Dyke, and I repeat dark lines, some here and some dark in that part. Yeah. And we must create some fur on his right ear. I always say right and left as your right and left hand, because of course it's left ear of lion, but for us it's more easy to understand right left as our hand. And you must take the same color and some blues here. This tone should be darker than tone on his head. And the back, that part, some here, and dark color. I always use that mixture of indent blue and burnt sienna, or if you also have Van Dyke by Core, you can use it. It's very good color, and some dark to his ear, like that. Yeah. And now we can start make some details on his mouth, and I repeat dark colors and these lines in the middle of his nose, and here small dots on his face, from which dots whiskers grow up, and I put just a little bit water using my brush. And I love permanent rows, but all animals they have cold light in that part of the tank because it's the sky. And I just put some blue and dark here. It's that color is oxide black with some red. It should be not violet, it should be with blue light, and I repeat, more warm color. It will make the deep in his mouth and more dark color here, and the middle line, and make the softness. And he has, or she, small dot and a little bit bright color here. Yeah. And dark surrounding. Yeah, with his tongue, it should be very gentle. And with some blues. And also you must solve the edges between that line and his muzzle. And some blues here. Here, and now we repeat dark lines using practically just watercolor without any water. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's so funny, and I want to make his eye a little bit dark. Yeah, like that, because it's so bright in color. And now we just need to put his body. It should be quite bright because we have a lot of blue here, and I use so bright orange. It's vermilion Rembrandt. I love that color so much. So perfect. And I must create the connection. Yeah. And more difficult color. As you see, that line cup more orange in color, and I told you that in my course I choose line because they are different in color. Small lines, they are different in color. They are more bright, more orange, more warm. That is why I use practically orange color, not yellow. And that part should be with some blues. And that part must be the most dark in tone from the whole face. And also I should say about painting animals that they are not they must have tone of their hair everywhere, and sometimes we need some bright but it's very difficult to paint and to speak English because that color goes here and I must to stop it. I'm very sorry for my mistakes, and I will continue my painting because it's the most important thing. I just use very dark mixture here, and also you must look on it because there is some possibility that it goes to our tongue, not our tongue, but of our animal, and we must be very careful. And here will be the middle of his body. I want to stop it like that with some orange here and maybe some small blue light.
I want to prepare you also, Ida, that in a couple of minutes, it would be great if we could move to the other parts that we will cover before the Q&A session. So if it's possible for you to begin to wrap up, that would be wonderful for the plan.
Yeah. I just need to look through all lines, not to stop just now because it will be changed. I just must to look on every line, and I think it's quite okay to make that part a little bit softer. Yeah, like that. And now I also put some paper towel under my painting